Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday evening to our panelists. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Space Jam 2, and we're going to talk a little bit about those slavery engagement photos that have come out over the past week and our response on that. And then we're going to touch a little bit on, do women really want to know the truth when they ask? And that stemmed from the Joe Budden podcast where he had a guest on that said that she feels that women want to know the truth and they value that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Our panelists this evening are myself, Jeff, Matito, Pork, Santino, Paula. So, do you guys want to talk about Space Jam? Space Jam 2? What do you guys think?
Yeah, Matino, what you think about it?
It was the greatest movie I've ever seen.
Now I know you're a liar.
Got a 10 on IMDb.
I don't even what's the user rating on
Rotten Tomatoes.
On Rotten Tomatoes. Let me go and check that out. Rotten Tomatoes.
We know that the box office started out hot. And LeBron was pretty excited for that, but then there was like
I have to refute that hot statistic. I stand by it. It's not hot, because I thought it was hilarious that he tweeted Sunday morning, like good morning haters, and then like attached an article talking about how Space Jam was the #1 movie of the weekend, which is fine. It was the #1 movie of that weekend. But that's coming off of like an $80 million weekend the weekend before from the premiere of Black Widow.
And what is Space Jam? Just so for people who don't know,
30 to 32 million, I think.
That first weekend.
By the end of the weekend. And just to put it into some context, this is what I was laughing about it. Because I'm a nerd like this, I had to go back to see what the original Space Jam took for opening weekend. So, this is 1996. We're in 2021. The original Space Jam took in $28 million opening weekend.
Interesting.
And if you adjust that for inflation, that would put MJ's movie at around like $68 to $70 million opening weekend. And you can argue COVID, right? You could argue COVID, but Black Widow still made $80 million the weekend before.
I'm also curious about like the Looney Tunes. The Looney Tunes were more popular in the 90s as well. So I don't know if there's a combo there going on there where MJ's popular plus the Looney Tunes are popular.
Movie. But
now I feel like it's just LeBron who's popular.
LeBron's popular, but he's not MJ popular.
I don't know about that. I think that's just what we feel because we grew up with MJ.
I don't. No. It's a little different. It's a little different. It's You gotta put MJ in the same category of like Star Wars. Like you can slap. Hear me out. Hear me out. You can like in terms of like the merchandising effect of like MJ. You can go and slap a Jumpman symbol on anything, and they did back in the 90s. They would slap a Jumpman symbol on anything: lunchboxes, beer koozies, pencils.
It was a different world.
No, I know, but that dude created an empire with that. I mean, LeBron is a good basketball player, and he's known to be a good basketball player, and that's cool.
Now.
That's cool, but he's a billionaire based on his salary that he's gotten like from the NBA, and that's cool.
His endorsements.
But has he built like an empire like MJ? I don't. The truth is none of his brand. The truth is, even for me, and the truth is, I'm not this like big like NBA basketball fanatic. I'm not, but I can recognize a Jumpman symbol anywhere. I couldn't tell you a LeBron brand if you stuck it in front of me. Like if you gave me 4 of them out of 5, a lineup of 5, you gave me 4 options, I'd probably still be wrong like 4 of the time, 4 times. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
I'd have to look at my shoes.
Jeff, you were gonna say what?
No, my kids loved it. It was relevant to stuff that they love with video games and how they like to make superstar I can't be beat rules on the video game. and how they give everybody, they create their player and make them, 99 on every attribute. It was relevant to that. I watched it with my kids because they had watched the original Space Jam before, which I was proud of. So I was like, you know what, y'all watch the original, I'll watch the new one with you. And for what it was, I didn't hate it. It wasn't like, I'm over the moon excited about it. I think I'm more excited about the McDonald's toy than I am about anything else. The McDonald's toy was absolutely hysterical.
And with that, hold on, let me
If
try
y'all
to
never seen it, watch this. It's hilarious. Look what they did to this man.
I saw that.
I haven't seen it.
Sure. Okay, so here's just the toy. To be fair, here's the toy.
No,
but then there's also the toy is normal and not, there's nothing wrong with just that. But then you have people being rude online.
Hey, they had to make it accurate.
Oh my gosh. Now why they have to do that, man? Like,
we did magically have hair in the movie as well.
In the movie, right? We magically had a nice hairline and waves and everything in the movie. I'm like, wait a second, man, that was Brian's hairline.
It was silly. Like that's even here, it's like. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me stop. I keep doing that. I'm trying to only share the tab, but then I can't go from tab to tab. But for this here,
he took his hair off.
It's like he has so much.
God.
It looks great. Looking good there, Brownie Brad. I'm like, man.
Without the headband, too. Not bad.
Without the headband. But
so I agree with Jeff. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it either. The first, 45 minutes or so, I could have did without. So now, Jordan, my son, he's little. He's not named after Michael Jordan, by the way, so I'm not biased. Well, I am biased, but not for that reason. Not that extreme. But he likes to watch the movie because once he sees a movie, he's 2. So once he sees something, he wants to see it over and over again. So I just fast forward through the first 45 minutes till we get to the Looney Tunes, and then we're good. I don't need his acting is so bad,
it's
and
really
I don't
bad.
know why they let him act for so long. Why did they let all of that go for so long? The whole opening 30, 40 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, where are the Looney Tunes? What is going on? This terrible acting. I could only watch it for so long. The first time I watched, I fell asleep.
The first movie did a really good job of LaShawn, you said it best yesterday, so I'll let you say it.
I said the first movie was a Looney Tunes movie starring Michael, guest starring Michael Jordan. This one was a LeBron movie guest starring the Looney Tunes.
And the entire WB catalog.
And the entire WB catalog. It was one big WB commercial for the first 40 minutes. Oh, look at all this great stuff we did. Don't be mad at the WB because we don't like black people and we try to get rid of Cyborg and all of that. So they were just trying to self-promote through the first 40 minutes of that movie. And I was like, oh my God, where's Bugs Bunny? That's all I wanted.
And LeBron is a terrible actor, and I feel like they noticed it as they're filming, and they finally turned him into a cartoon, and that helped in the last hour of the movie as well.
His voice acting was way better than his real acting.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the hilarious part is LeBron was more likable as a cartoon character than he was as LeBron, and that's hilarious to me. He's
playing himself, so you would think that wouldn't be so difficult. I don't get acting. I'm not an actor. I'm sure it's hard, but just be yourself, and it's ridiculous. He lacks MJ's charisma. And I know I had brought that up with you guys on our own, just how even Michael Jordan's a terrible actor too. Let's be honest. I just saw the first Space Jam too. A refresher, and he's a terrible actor. But the dude is likable. The second that guy's on screen, you just want more of him, even if he's a terrible actor. And I swear it's not, and I swear it's not nostalgia. It's not nostalgia. I swear it's not. I swear it's not.
I
Because what you're
swear.
saying doesn't
Well,
really make sense.
the original director of Space Jam, complained about LeBron being not likable, and he's no MJ. And he said in something, some interview or something, where he's known 3 people who were like that, who had this like charisma, where no matter what, you don't know anything, you don't know them, that you could be talking to them for the first time. They're gonna like bring that out. And it was Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, and Madonna. That's what he said, and he said that this isn't even a Space Jam movie, but to be fair, he's been against the movie since like 2016. Like since they announced that he's been against it, that they shouldn't be remaking it.
You know that.
Sorry, go ahead.
You know that when your acting is bad, when Elmer Fudd has to help you out in the movie. I'm just saying. Anthony said that his acting was suspect. Suspect is giving him too much credit. Just let me know.
I know Anthony gave him too much credit. It's beyond suspect. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I think it's hilarious though, and like I said, it's a little too analytical, but I just think it's hilarious that Bugs Bunny was treating LeBron like a Looney Tunes villain, like the entire time he was a cartoon character. All the gags that Bugs Bunny does to like all the villains, all that stuff was getting done to LeBron. I thought that was hilarious because that did not happen to Jordan.
He didn't do that to Michael.
No, it was like an immediate ally. Like when Jordan popped up in their world. No, they took him to their world. He was like an immediate ally with them. Whereas like LeBron, he's like, and I joke about it, it's like the first thing LeBron does is pull down the duck season sign and expose rabbit season. And Bugs Bunny, of course, that means war. And then for the rest of the time, he's just like. And it's like passively aggressively like antagonizing LeBron the entire time. Go back and watch it.
Bringing Michael B. Jordan in was
hilarious.
They were so excited for that, and I was
spoiler alert for people who
my bad.
Yes, they were excited because an actual good actor all of a sudden appeared.
Okay, so final. Do you guys recommend yay or nay? Maybe just. Sounds like maybe for the kids, but not if you
just fast forward through fast forward till you see Bugs Bunny, and then it's not so bad.
That's true.
All right. The truth. It's so bad it needs to be experienced. It's so bad. It's so bad that you need to watch this movie.
What my daughter said? She was like, that movie is bad when they make Don Cheadle look like a bad actor, and Don Cheadle's actually a pretty good actor.
First thing I was saying was Don, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this, bro? Like, you're better than this, man. Like,
it was bad.
Why?
That part was bad too.
He was bad. Like his role was cringy.
The whole beginning.
The whole movie was cringy, and then I talked about this, how the original Space Jam opens up and it still portrays Michael Jordan and his family as like a regular middle of the road type of American family. No, we know that he has the baller house with the 23 gate. We know that. But go back and watch the original Space Jam and those guys are living like a bungalow. It's like BS, right? But like,
it was not a
as opposed to
not a big house.
I know
it was, yeah, but as opposed to like LeBron's mansion, it's like, oh yeah, so I love this dude. I love look at how this dude lives and look at how I live. Like this makes me want to be more like LeBron. Get out of here with that. Also, can I just add something really quick while we're closing up? Hilarious that China is not gonna air. Or is not allowing this movie to show in China. I think that is hilarious. I don't know. I don't know. I've been trying to find exactly why, but it's saying that it's not. China's not allowing it to air there.
Interesting.
Yeah, whatever.
And that guy loves
China.
China.
To watch the movie. Nobody could pay me to watch that movie. Without going on a full-on anti-LeBron tangent. There's no reason to redo Space Jam. There's no reason he should have ever used the number 23. He's been trying to be Jordan for so long. I'll stop there. Everything he does revolves around Michael Jordan. And if you look at every comparison of him, since day one, it's been Michael Jordan. He's not Michael Jordan.
I mean, okay, and just to play devil's advocate, just to play devil's advocate, like is that necessarily his fault?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, he is really good.
He and his management control all things narratives when it comes to LeBron James from day one to now. So if it fell off after a year or two, I would say no. But because it keeps going on, and here we are, and he went back to the number 23, and he's doing Space Jam, and he did that whole interview where he said the reason or where I knew I became the greatest was this specific moment. It's like, ugh, he's insufferable. I can't. I just can't. I can't do that guy. Yeah,
that's strong.
It's what it is. I can go on a whole other tangent about how he ruined basketball in the NBA, but I'm not going to do that. I cannot watch that movie. I would not watch that.
Man, y'all better change the subject because
I'm going to say it on that note.
Let's turn into an NBA group.
Okay, I'm gonna legit try to make this as smooth as possible.
Okay, guys, this transition doesn't work, but that's okay.
It kind of does.
I mean, speaking about bad acting, I'm just saying, you know.
So these slavery engagement photos came out within the past week. I think within the past 3-4 days, and everybody on the internet has a negative response here. It's just like, what is going on? I don't understand. Why did they agree to this? Not only why did they agree to it, how did their family allow this to happen? The photographer, the site, what happened here? And I'll just click through. These are engagement photos of an interracial couple who, and then the caption says, 1842, days passed and everything changed. Our love got stronger and stronger, and he was no longer a slave. He was part of the family. Oh my God. And then it just, from picture to picture.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
What is happening here? With his shackles on, kissing her hands, and then it just gets worse. Now she's unshackling him, and then he's free. Who wants to start?
If you ever want to make America together, this is a good way to start. Because I can't imagine anybody thinking this was a good idea other than those two people there. Well, even racists would have a problem with it because at the end he's free. I just can't think of anybody. I can't think of anybody who would like this. Like maybe the first couple photos the racists would be okay with, but this is that's pretty incredible.
Catastrophe.
Pretty incredible that something is universally disliked. Other than LeBron, but
I'm telling you, her dad and uncles were sitting around in a room having a beer and a brandy, and they were just sitting there like, what can we do to make this hilarious? And they brought this up, and they were like, we can't believe he did it. The Negro did it. We can't believe he did it. This is amazing. They're showing it to all their friends in their little club. The KKK is having a good time with it. They're like, see? They want to be slaves.
Nah, man. Trust me, the KKK be losing their shit over this.
Well, the last couple pictures, or the last two.
Yeah.
Before that, they were good with it. Like,
yeah.
I for when I first came across it, I actually thought it was just like the cover photos of like an adult fetish website that just kind of got mistaken as real, you know.
Can we determine if this is real? Because it's so hard to believe.
We have not, and I cannot find the people who posted this.
Normally, you can find out pretty quick, so maybe it is.
I was gonna say I haven't seen anything to say it wasn't real either. Like this spread like wildfire,
and I guarantee people looked into it. So if it hasn't come out by now, then it's real.
It's probably real.
Yeah, maybe.
All their stuff, all of their accounts have been deleted.
I mean, someone has to know. I mean, especially in today's day and age, I feel like this thing, like someone should have.
Maybe
someone hasn't been doxxed by now.
Maybe their family is like, or her family or his family are like well connected, and they've kept it out of the media so far.
Nobody's
no one's that good.
No. I have no idea. All I know is, what would you guys do if this was your family member? Like, what would you do?
Probably be like, yo, like. You need to go and take those down immediately. Like, what were you thinking?
I'd be like, are you
get up there?
An idiot? Like, what the beep, beep? Like, I would just be cursing. Like,
I would
unfriend
him from all social media. Make sure I'm not attached to that nonsense at all.
I wouldn't talk to him. I
don't use my
him.
real name, so I'm good.
I mean,
they showed up to the family cookout. I'm leaving.
Because I'm punching her on sight. Like, I'm punching him on sight.
I might stay for that.
I mean, who do you think is more responsible for this one? You know what I mean? Like
her dad. I'm telling you, it's her father.
Hey, you can marry my daughter if
you take pictures like this.
That makes sense.
They're both responsible, but he of all people probably
he's the worst.
Known.
Yeah, he's the worst of the worst.
I just don't understand like how he was like, yeah, like this looks good. Oh my gosh,
I'm telling you, this is
so great.
This is gonna come out to be the cover photos for an adult fetish website. I swear.
But even that is disgusting. Like I literally cannot.
But that makes more sense though. That makes more sense than this being like two people's actual engagement photos.
Maybe, but I don't know if it's real.
You know,
can you take these photos down? Like I don't even want to look at them. It's really pissing me off.
And then she kept sorting through them back and forth.
It's Dave's comment. Dave, put your comment. I wonder what the photographer said when they told him.
He was in on it. He was in on it. No way he's not in on it.
I need you to look more slavey. More like, Submit.
Oh, man.
Submit, David.
It's just so, like every time you think you've seen it all, like someone has to come and surprise you. Like,
what y'all don't understand is they didn't. Those are the pictures they posted. Photographers just don't take a few pictures. What we missing was the one of him running with the dudes on horseback with the vans behind him. That's what we missed.
Seriously.
Oh no, you're right. You're totally right.
They wrote this caption. They posted just this few. They're talking about part 2 is the wedding pictures. What are y'all doing? I don't want to know where they're getting married. Like I don't want to know.
I do. I want to go. I want to go.
That would have been hard to pitch for like a Fairly Brothers movie, like in the early 90s. Like that's so.
They wouldn't even have made the money.
It would have. Yeah, it would have. I think it would have been funny, but it wasn't meant to be. Like this wasn't meant to be. This is supposed to be, I guess, romantic.
Hey, imagine like walking into like your friend's house and you see those hung up on the walls, the engagement photos.
No, what kind of marriage this is? I gotta go.
I mean, you immediately think of Get Out, and you're like, I'm in the second place. I gotta get the hell up out of here. No, thank you. As soon as I see somebody with a teacup, I am out. No, y'all not Kanye and me.
No tea.
Murphy's Law dictates that this isn't the first and only time this will ever happen.
This is the first time somebody posted it.
Who pitched the idea? Like,
the only thing that could have made this worse.
Questions.
Yeah.
The only thing that could have made this worse is they would have took a photo with him at the tree with the noose around his neck and her pleading for his life. That's the only thing that could have made it worse.
We're her cutting it. We're cutting the noose.
Right. Her cutting the noose. That's even better. Oh man.
Oh no. So bad.
It really is bad.
So bad.
That's like I remember recently talking to why Disney hasn't remade like Pocahontas, and I'm thinking about this. You just bring it up. I'm thinking about a scene where because everything got to be like real woke and stuff now. Imagine the scene where this like young native girl who's probably 13 years old goes and runs out and then puts her head on top of John Smith's like 60-year-old head.
He's probably not 60, but
you know what I mean? That dude was 100% middle-aged.
Middle-aged, she was definitely in her teens. And
you know what I'm saying?
Agreed they wouldn't remake that movie.
They would have to call it the Guardians now.
Guardian Pocahontas.
Oh, have to call it Guardians
man.
now. You can't use Indian names anymore.
Yeah, you can't do any of that, and that's what we're too.
Native guys.
I was gonna say
not
it's
even
native,
Indian.
not Indian.
It's native or it's indigenous
Native
people.
American. Okay, right.
My bad.
You guys see the commercial for the Guardians? They released it like it was good. Like
the Cleveland Guardians.
Changed their name to the Guardians.
Did you guys hear that?
Oh
no, I didn't know. That's what they
changed.
That's what I said talking about.
They changed the Cleveland Indians to the Cleveland Guardians.
I like that name.
What team is this?
Cleveland. Formerly known as the Cleveland Indians. They are now the Cleveland Guardians.
What sport?
Baseball.
Look,
Baseball.
I don't watch sports. Okay, so Indians. The Cleveland Indians were a baseball team, and now all right. I don't like it. Maybe I would have liked it for a football team. I don't get it for baseball.
The football team is called the football team. That's what that is. The football team has named themselves the football team.
You talking about Washington?
Yeah.
Yes, they are
the Washington football team.
Football team. Yep, they are the football team.
I like that. That's because I'm very logical.
I like the Guardians actually.
You know what I'm a little disappointed with? This just made the major league movies obsolete. Now they're gonna come after my major league movies, and man, you know that would really suck. Like I'm not even joking. That would actually really suck. You know, they're just never gonna show Major League ever again because it's Cleveland Indians.
You just see a big pass.
See, and that's what you know what, and that's why I still collect physical media because I hate when they go and they change stuff after the fact. That really bugs me. Like when Disney went and extended the hair on the chicken Splash. They extended their hair digitally to cover her bare ass walking back into the water at the end of the movie. And you know, and I understand like the whole like, you know, family platform stuff, but it's like
the movie's the movie.
That movie was PG at the time, like yeah, you know what I mean? No, you're not gonna go in like right over like the Mona Lisa. You know, you're not gonna go and like paint over that because times changed and you know that's crazy. Like you don't do that. And you know, even going back even going back to Pocahontas, right? There was some really racially charged lyrics in the original soundtrack recording.
But weren't they the
and
villains?
It was changed. I think when the movie was finally released, it was changed. But the original soundtrack pressing. So if you have the original soundtrack from that movie from like 95, I have one, by the way. It has the original lyrics that they recorded and pressed. And it was like they made comments like in the song Savages, they made comments like dirty red-skinned devils.
Well, they are calling them savages, so
I know.
A really racist song.
But they made like these comments like that, like, you know, dirty red-skinned devils. They made something else that they had to change, and you know, and it just kind of bothers me that they change it, you know, because
I agree.
You wrote this. You wrote this you wrote this, and you thought it was okay. That even made it enough to like get pressed onto a CD and distributed at least a first run before it got changed. Like you got to take ownership of that, and you can't just pretend that it didn't happen. But it's a different time period too.
But I feel like it's a different time period. But I feel like companies now are trying to go back and fix their mistakes or whatever.
Well, but
learn from the mistakes
out before the movie was even released.
Yeah,
so they obviously thought it was.
But no, a real prominent one is Aladdin, because this one actually went into like distribution. This was actually
way off topic, Tino.
Who cares?
Yeah, I was thinking, how do we get from slavery pictures?
Who cares? Well, we're talking about censorship anyway. It's our purview. But real quick,
we're trying to censor these photos, so we're on the wrong side.
We want the photos gone.
I don't know. You got to learn from it.
Well, I think they learned from this real quick. No more.
There had to be immediate backlash, like immediate.
How did it get online? I don't understand how it got through that initial like friend family group.
I want to hear the Aladdin point.
Right in the beginning in the song Arabian Nights, the narrator says, where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face is barbaric, but hey, it's home. That was pressed for the soundtrack. That was in the original release. It was like that for like a decade, and then when they re-released it on like DVD for like the platinum editions and all that, they changed that lyric, and subsequent releases of that soundtrack have that lyric changed.
But it's true.
I mean, it's not the end of the world.
No, I know, but you know,
it's not stopping a book from being published.
But you wouldn't go back. But you wouldn't go back and change. You wouldn't go back and change like a major work of art just because it's
Aladdin. I agree with you.
And Aladdin is a major work of art if you look at it relative to film history.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. That's why.
You know, and it's you're changing it. You're changing it after the fact, and it's like, no, own it. Own it.
Own the time it came out.
You thought it was okay at this time. You thought it was okay. It was okay. Deal with it. Don't do it again.
Gotcha. All right. So I don't know how we got on that. We're talking about these slavery engagements.
I don't know.
On the topics of relationships, I'm like trying to make this a smooth transition.
Great
on the topic
we're very bad
at relationships.
Women, I don't know.
On the topic of bad decisions, that's how we all relate. Space
I don't know if this is bad decisions because this is the Joe Budden snippet.
Wait.
It's a bad decision to say
slavery
that.
Photos and making statements that don't make sense. Those are all bad decisions. Bad decision is telling women they're fat. Yeah. That's a bad decision.
Well, okay. So
hold on. Let's play the clip. So this happened on the Joe Budden Network or his podcast. He had what's her name? Bridget Kelly on.
Yeah, Bridget Kelly.
And she had this to say.
We can't always keep it real with women. As women, we can't always keep it real.
No, as nobody.
That's not
as
true.
Nobody.
That's not true.
Men can't keep it real with women.
That's not
Bridget.
true.
You said women can't keep it real with women. So imagine how the fuck we get to keep it real with them.
I'm going to tell you how. Because women value honesty more than they value what the truth is.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Serious?
Well, absolutely fucking
women,
serious.
No, women value. So you really want to know if you look fat in that dress? Get the fuck. No, they don't.
I had this brilliant concept for that.
By the way, I really like Bridget Kelly, but she was wrong on that one.
I think there's layers to it. I think there's layers to it.
So, do women want to hear the truth? I think is the question. Do women really want to hear the truth when we say we do? Like I'm saying we. Do women want to know the truth when we say we do? And what do you?
No, I think it depends what it is.
Or women or men, really, for that matter. But we're talking about women right now. But I don't think anybody wants the blunt truth most of the time.
So the men in that clip obviously felt like you're lying. There's no way. And she obviously was trying to like convince them that the women value the truth. So yeah,
I think it depends. I think it depends. Like she, where he brings up like, do you want to know if you look fat in that dress? No, you're gonna have to lie. Like you don't like the truth is that you don't really want it. You want the compliment. That's what the woman really is looking for. The woman is looking for the compliment there. Now,
does anyone really ask their husbands, do I look fat in this? Like, for real?
I wouldn't.
I would never ask that question.
I mean, not in that word. That's like such a movie thing to say.
I wouldn't even ask.
But there are a lot of questions like that. I think.
Yes, there are a lot of
questions. Like, I wouldn't even ask. Men are so free, really, with answers.
Really? Oh, hell no.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm starting to be like, wait a second.
I didn't let anybody in.
So
can I just say this? Can I just say this? What should have came right after that clip was Jack Nicholson's scene in A Few Good Men. You can't handle it. That should have came right in.
So what did you join for, Dave? You had something to say?
It's a trap.
You're muted.
You're muted. You're muted.
There we go. All right. So I joined. So Sante has never asked me that question, by the way. But I will say,
there's a sound.
You have an echo, Dave.
Oh, hold on.
We can come back to you. Does somebody else want to comment while Dave gets this
There's still an echo?
No, there's no echo.
Okay. So Shantae has never asked me that question. But
I would never ask a question like that.
Here's the problem. If you ask me the question, you really want to know, and I believe in telling the truth. So I'm going to tell you, but it's how you say it. Like, I'm not going to say you look fat in that dress, but I will say that's not the most flattering dress. How about you wear this dress?
You were in trouble.
But so here's the problem though. If I say something, I'm in trouble. If I don't say something, you go out and your girlfriend say, "What are you doing in that dress?" Then I'm gonna get in trouble because I didn't say something. It's a lose-lose no matter what.
Lose.
So if I tell you it's out of love, and I just have to make sure that I say it in a tactful manner.
You need better practice.
Can I give you the way out of that question? This is the greatest way out of that question. If they ask you, "Do I look fat in this dress?" You walk up to them, you grab them, and say, "You look sexy to me, baby," and you kiss them, and that's it, and it's over with. You walk away.
That's the only answer to that question.
You get in trouble for that too.
Have any of your wives even asked you such a question?
Nah, my wife.
Okay, but we're talking about just in general.
There's questions that question represents. There's a lot of those.
Not that specific
more
question.
Like a macro version of a lot of little questions that we get asked. Yeah. So to me, the best way to answer that question would be, I really like that black one that you had on a couple weeks ago, whatever. Completely evade. But you still have to answer, because if you don't answer, you're in trouble. So
I'm sorry, this is so funny. If you don't answer, you're
but that's like a question like that. Like, does this dress look fat on me? I think like there's certain instances where like a woman really does want to know the truth, especially if it's something like a little more serious or pertinent to the relationship. Like if it's like a serious thing, like of course anyone would,
Yeah, I think
they're keeping it real, and there's when keeping it real goes wrong. Yeah. And keeping it real for some things is great, but that for just that particular question, that's when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah.
And I think in the instance he named, like the dress thing, that you shouldn't necessarily blatantly tell the truth. But this was obviously a much broader question as far as like, do women want the truth? Like,
they don't.
In certain situations, I think women do want the truth. Like,
yeah, of course.
I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to marry you. Like, sometimes you do want that truth.
Yeah,
I cheated on you. I have a baby. It's not by you.
Yeah, and I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. I think for like little things like that. That's just what did Chris Rock say? Women need food, water, and compliments. Hey, that's what Chris Rock said. And and I always look at those. That's just, they're asking for the compliment. They want to be, women wants to be told by their guy that they look good still. That they're still attractive to you. So that's what that is. But like for something serious like pertinent to the relationship, hell yeah, anybody's gonna want to know the truth. That's like
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I was just trying to like, okay. So I'm trying to like think about
me in the comments.
And I'm trying to think like if I was to say something like that, I feel like I would say more like, do you think this looks nice, or does this look fine? Do I look fine? And then I feel like to Dave's point, he probably is treading on, whatever, or feels like he's walking on eggshells when he's responding. But I think what I might be trying to get at more is like, do you think I look nice in this? Not necessarily like, would other people like, just maybe what you guys were saying. Do you still find me attractive? Do you think like it's more like validation from you specifically than like anything else. Maybe I don't know.
That would be done in private, not if you're on your way to go somewhere. That's what that changes the answer. That changes the ability to answer.
We already in it now, bitch.
I do not ask Jermaine these questions. Like, I don't ask him.
I don't know. Dave, do I often ask you like about
again? So it's not that specific question. There's a lot of
no. I know, but I don't know.
That's what I was saying. I was trying to think about if I'm ever to ask a question like that, if I feel like I'm wanting more validation that in your eyes I look nice. Like more what you guys were saying. Like she just wants to know that she's still attractive to you. Like I feel like that's the only reason I would say ask for something like that. So I don't know.
To be fair,
go ahead. If your wife is asking that question, you need to pay her more compliments in general, and then she won't ask you those crazy questions.
There's no compliments out of goodwill. You can't just load up on goodwill compliments. It's never gonna be enough. It's never gonna be at the right time. It's never gonna be at the appropriate time.
Also, you would squint. You would be like, "What the hell?" Okay, enough with the compliments. I get it.
No, it's
and that causes another problem. What did you do? Why are you complimenting?
You did something. Where's this coming from?
Exactly.
Right. The hell? Why are you complimenting me? You just complimented me yesterday.
LaShawn, in truth, I've known you for a really, really long time now. You don't strike me as someone that fishes for compliments.
No,
ever. I've never known you to
Maybe
be like that.
I can't understand this.
Tito,
I think Kevin Samuels disproves what that lady said by having over 1 million subscribers, and he. A lot of the most controversial shows are when he has women rate themselves. And if you watch those, these are people who are calling in. He doesn't pay these people. These women come in clearly a 3 or 4, saying that they're a 9. So when they hear the truth, they don't react very well. And they get upset. And you see the comments start getting lit up. Because it's true. Like there's a woman, she had, I think she had 8 or 9 kids. She rated herself a 9. And she was dead serious. It wasn't like a joke. She was not trolling. So again, that truth, they want to hear their truth. So that whole new thing, that my truth stuff that's out now, that's what they want to hear. They don't want to hear the truth.
Is that just by a gender?
Has he ever released the demographic breakdown of his viewership though?
No, he speaks about it a lot.
I'm really curious how many women are tuning in.
It's mostly women and married couples who listen to him and watch him.
That's interesting.
And respond to him.
Well, I wonder, if I watched it, I would watch it for entertainment value. I wouldn't watch it for advice.
Yeah. Similar to the way that I watch Maury.
Sound advice.
What fool is he gonna have on here today? That would make me watch it if I was bored and had that kind of time on my hands.
Have y'all watched?
You want to hear the truth?
Have y'all watched Dr. Devin? Affion Crockett when he goes live, I think on Thursday nights, and he pretends to be Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
Watch it. Or Affion, I don't know how to say his name, but he's awesome. Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
There's nothing wrong with a little bit of self-confidence or a lot of bit of self-confidence. But if you have all that self-confidence in yourself, you shouldn't need my opinion. So please don't ask it because you might get the truth, and truth hurts. And I'm sorry, I'm as blunt as they come. My wife is as blunt as they come. She's not a fisher of compliments. She could care less. But if you go on a show and you rate yourself a 9 and you a 3 or a 4, you set yourself up to get your feelings hurt. So if you didn't want to hear the truth, you should have not tuned in or called in or whatever it is. Keep your self-confidence because I'll tear it down real quick. I know where I'm at. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with myself. If you don't want to be honest with yourself, I'll be honest with you.
I don't think a person who is an actual 8, 9, or 10 are going to be calling into that show to get rated.
No, they do.
Well, but the people who ask him questions though are people who are single and they can't figure out why they're single or why they can't stay in a relationship. So he's just trying to help them figure out their situation, and then
No. He has to kick married people out. They come in more than the single people. He spends half his show kicking married people out.
For advice?
Yes. And to comment and to agree with them. I just call to say I agree. Okay, that's not the topic of the show. I appreciate it, and then he'll stop the whole show. I can't have married people calling in. Like, it's half of his show is trying to get them out, and the other half is the people he lets in. He has no screeners or anything. These are all people who legitimately want to rate themselves, I guess, and ask for advice. But it is what
so
it is.
why do you think all the married couples then? I mean, they're already like partnered up.
I watch to see how those. I can't believe some people think like those single people think, and I can see why they're single. So that's really why I watch. I'm like, this is fascinating.
Well, that's what I'm saying. How much of his audience is just watching to be fascinated?
I mean, that's why
I don't know. I think it's entertainment.
But that's why we watch anything, because he used to do it with men. His man show was worse than the females. Like, he would rip dudes, rip them. Like, Kawan finally watched. My wife Kawan finally watched an episode of his men version of the show, and she was like, "Wow, I thought he talked to these women wrong." He's giving sound advice and telling people you need to be realistic. So the ones who aren't realistic, they get the truth.
Basically,
I should call into that show and be like, "Rate me. I think I'm a 10."
I'm just kidding.
I do believe that. What you guys laughing for?
No, the way you said it.
Right. I'm a 10.
I think I'm a 10.
You got all the confidence in the world, we get you. Oh, right. They're trying to cancel him. That's true. Well, I mean, I don't think
they're not going to be able to cancel him.
He's got over 1 million.
Like something new or like something come up or?
I think it's just been since he became famous for being a jerk kind of within our community. People have been trying to cancel him because women just kind of defend each other regardless of knowing these people or anything. They're just like
until they're working next to him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to listen to that. He doesn't have to tell you that. He shouldn't have said that. And it's just like this whole thing where even though these people are calling in and asking for his advice and sitting through what he's saying, women still feel the need to defend him. So that's the whole other ridiculous.
Well, they're coming from the outside trying to build on her truth instead of letting her deal with reality. Because most of them chicks are in their late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s, 50s, and they're all single.
Right. And they're asking for advice. So
they're trying to not be single.
I agree with you. You gotta just let them do that and not come at it from a cancel perspective, because
it won't work.
How can you cancel somebody who they're listening to, they're paying attention, and they're calling in for advice? Like, you act like he's like attacking people or trolling people or
like just like going through like Match.com and like on his show like look at this one here.
Right. Exactly.
I would actually watch that. Oh my
God. That would be like the Chappelle show, like the player haters ball, when they were like flipping through the pictures.
That's terrible. I know why you're sick.
That would be really hilarious.
That would be
like Match.com, like go through their entire profile and stuff. Like, look at what they're saying here. See, this is what's wrong with this.
Swipe left. That'd be the name of the show. I watched that. Is it left or right? Which one's good? Which one's bad?
I don't know.
I think left is bad. Swipe left. That's the name of the show.
I couldn't tell you. like 15 years ago, that show would have gotten made.
Right. I'm just picturing like the green screen in the back is their background, and Tito is just holding it up, and everyone can see it. He just goes through their pictures. Ugh, yeah.
He'd have it set up like Tosh.0.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
That would be hilarious.
You know what? And the thing is totally like all of us would probably still would be the ones like in this exact same format, like just sitting there like ragging on people all day. Like that sounds like a lot of
That'd be really fun.
I would not have fun with this.
I'm in.
You guys.
Hey, I'm gonna be mad.
Tuesday nights.
I'm gonna be mad like a year from now. All of a sudden, a show like that pops up and be like, "What the hell?"
It's totally gonna probably happen soon.
Right, like some crazy thing. Like that'd be like one of them dating shows.
Wasn't that on like In Living Color or something? They were like lowered expectations. You remember that?
That was on Mad TV.
Dating profile.
Mad TV.
Mad TV.
Yeah, they already did a version of what we're talking about for sure.
But it was a comedy. It was funny. Yeah, lowered expectations. They should have started a website called Lowered Expectations.
The truth is, like, I'm completely out of touch, like, with any of that dating stuff. Yeah. I never did it.
I want to be rude.
Like, could never tell you how it even works, you know. And then when I was thinking about it, like, how does that work for like mediocre people, like who don't have that like wow factor, like from looks? You know what I mean? How does that work?
You just have to be interesting and normal.
Yeah, but if you're just swiping through profile pictures, you know what I mean? Like,
I heard you could pay to get your pictures professionally staged and stuff so that you look interesting.
But that would be so obvious and lame.
Well,
if I saw it, I'd be like, yo, like it was that serious? You had to go pay money?
They wouldn't know. Their future.
You would totally. I'm sorry. You would totally know. If you had a professional headshot done for your dating profile. 100%. There's no, if you got like perfect lighting, perfect like movement, because understand, like they got, if it's like an action picture, like perfect like movement is perfectly represented in the frame. Like, come on.
They take like action shots and stuff with them and their friends, to like make them a profile.
Yeah, and the hair is gonna be like perfectly in motion. It can only come from like a professional camera. You can't fool that.
Or an iPhone. Come on, iPhones these days are amazing. So
they're not like DSLR cameers, though. I'm gonna say that.
I don't know what that means.
So we haven't decided if women really want to hear the truth.
Yes, we have. That's a negative.
I would say yes.
It depends on the subject.
Yeah, it's circumstantial, and it's definitely not about your looks. It's just not happening, you know.
I think it's a trust issue. It's like I trust Dave's opinion to the point where if he said something that made me think some kind of way, I'd be like, okay, well he wouldn't say that if I was really, I don't know. If you don't trust what your guy is saying, then it's going to cause a problem. If you ask the question, though, to Dave's point, if you ask the question and you don't like the answer, that's kind of on you. I don't get reacting poorly to a question asked.
I think people should just tell the truth a majority of the time. Other than white lies, I think people should just tell the truth, and then you either get used to it or you don't.
But who decides what the limitations of a white lie are?
Did she ever say why she couldn't be real with women?
No, they ended up going straight into the guy thing.
That's
the one I'm most curious about.
Yeah, me too.
You know, because like sometimes like it's real funny with women, in my opinion, because there's this like this camaraderie, this, you know, who was just talking about that right now? It's like women kind of sticking together until a certain point, and then like.
LaShawn was saying, I think with the Kevin Samuelson people, or was it Shantae?
Oh, Shantae.
To defend the women, yeah.
We defend each other to like the death. I don't know what up until the point is.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because like to a point where we're now she, you know, then she's saying that she can't be honest with other women. You know, like so that's what I'm saying. Like, so you know, which one is it? You know,
I mean. You can't be honest with other women.
I think until competition starts.
Until competition starts. I think I agree with that. I
think my favorite part of that video, my favorite part of that clip was the part that you didn't play, when they said that we should have a day where all men could be 100% honest with women. And old boy was like, that'd be the end of the world right there. Like everything would be tore up and destroyed.
That
Be the last day of the world.
That goes both ways, and
It
she
does.
said that because when we're honest with men, egos get hurt real fast.
They ain't sensitive like that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Free
You stop
slope
it.
right there.
You know, does anyone watch Hell's Kitchen?
Yes.
Oh,
you watch Hell's Kitchen?
Yeah,
so you know, I was joking with Dea about how there should be some like anthropological studies about Hell's Kitchen, because like the show always starts exactly the same. You know, you got your boys team and your girls team, but every season starts exactly the same. The women are always strong until they start developing relationships with each other, and then all of a sudden, like the red team collapses. The boys always start off weak until they trim the fat, and then they become really efficient, and then the blue team tends to be strong towards the end of the season. Like, I've just noticed that, like, after watching, 20 seasons of this show at this point, there's just, like, consistency.
Cold.
I don't know. It's interesting. It's just really interesting. They always start.
There's way more female winners of that show than
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that based on the teams, like the team dynamic, it always seems to start. The women are always strong until, like,
they get to know
week
each
like
other.
6 or 7, and then they start having like a lot of like little rivalries and like, you know, factions, cliques within their group. Whereas the boys, they're always like bumping heads at first in the beginning, you know, and then like the weakest links get trimmed off like really quick with the boys, and they just become really efficient towards the end.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's really interesting, you know, and I noticed that. You know, I noticed that it's just really, really interesting. You know, the way I don't know. It's like we're kind of like wired to work like that through like 150,000 years of like evolution. You know, it's the craziest thing.
The hierarchy. There's an explanation for it, but I don't know the show, so I'm not going to try to explain.
I mean, there's an explanation for it, but it's one of those things that they will never touch again out of the sake of wokeness, because they might not like the answers to that.
What do you mean?
Yeah, somehow a patriarchy or a hierarchy structure would come into play, and then they don't like that now.
Yeah,
so. But that's what's happening on the men's side. On the women's side, I don't know.
Yeah,
you mean for Hell's Kitchen?
Yeah, I mean, it was specifically for Hell's Kitchen, only because I watch that show a lot. And it's just really interesting that I feel like every single season starts more or less exactly the same.
Yeah, so in general, the alphas are trying to figure out what the hierarchy structure is going to be.
The pecking order.
Once they find it, they're good, and they can be efficient, and they can work towards building. That's natural. The women's side, again, I can't explain.
I feel like if I was on that stupid show and I watched it a bunch of seasons, I would go in with like a ruse. So maybe that's what's happening. Like, I would just try to befriend people and be friendly as much as I can, but also try to figure out who sucks and get them out.
Well, that's what everybody's doing.
Be friendly. I'm not going to be rude or mean or like.
That's what everybody's doing.
Bump heads, but I'm gonna be friendly. But I guess I could see myself after a while being like, "You suck. You need to go."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess at first I would be friendly. But it would be strategic. Like, yeah, it would be very like not conniving. That's not the right word. I don't know words.
See that how she's defaulting. She's defaulting to her inner nature.
I'm calculated.
Tino, if you notice on that show, is the women become. It's not even about trimming the fat or anything like that. It's about, I don't like her. She needs to go.
I don't know about that though.
No, seriously, that's what it happens a lot. In their private conversations, I don't like her. She needs to go. It's not about the competition or how we can win this. It's, I don't like her. You know,
yeah, I do see that happening.
The guys are like, dude, that guy sucks. He's got to go. And they work to get
he's dragging us down.
He's dragging us down. Yeah.
It's that simple.
It's a hierarchy structure. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I said. There needs to be some anthropological studies on that, because it's just after so many seasons of watching that show, it's just like this happens every season. Every season starts almost exactly the same.
I have to go back and rewatch.
I can't just be editing.
I'm gonna completely overthink it.
He's gonna come back. Okay, I watch all 20 seasons. I disagree.
I mean, Shantae, look at this point. Look what I've done. Like I've already way overthought this over the years. You know.
Oh shit.
It's
that's something I would totally do. So I completely understand. I overthink a lot of random stuff. Like, you think they were trying to say that? And people would just be looking at me. Jermaine and I just be looking at me like, what?
The only reason I love that stupid show is because I wish I could talk to my coworkers like that. Oh, that's the only reason I'd want to be a cook or want to be Gordon Ramsay. Be like, you fucking suck. I hate you. Get out. Get out. Again with the egg. Throw it in their face.
I'm pretty sure everyone watches it for that reason.
I know. Like, if only
I do that.
I could say that to so-and-so. And I would
do not.
I'm not that.
No, I went to Hell's Kitchen in Vegas and was disappointed that they weren't yelling and screaming at each other like that in the back. It was amazing, but I was like, come on, man, I need the theatrics. Like, where's Gordon throwing stuff at people?
You gotta go while they're recording the season. Yeah, that would be like my ideal like world. I would so thrive in a world like that. I don't mind being yelled at and stuff. Like if I'm doing a bad job, tell me.
Come work for me.
I could only imagine.
I don't know, Shantae. What if it's another female who happens to be your work rival has to do the yelling?
What is a work rival? What does that even mean? See, I don't even know what that means. So, what if it was your work rival yelling at you? That wouldn't happen.
All right, y'all. I gotta peace out.
Yeah, right. We are at an hour. Thank you, LaShawn. Thanks for joining, and thank you guys too. Any last thoughts as we sign off?
LeBron James.
He does, and he's not even a good actor.
MJ, terrible acting. You guys, MJ's was better. Women don't always want to hear the truth, and you really should have thought about posting some pictures of you and a slave. talking about 18, whatever. We trying to check. Man, come on, man. Come on.
See? Universally, everyone agrees on that.
Yeah.
Everyone agrees.
Everyone.
There's no way to defend that.
Write that date down. That was the day that everybody agreed on something for the first time in the last 4 years.
Right. This was our coming together moment again in this country. Everybody was like, what the hell, man?
All right. Well, thank you guys. At the bottom, you can see our website and our shop. We also post this as a podcast, so feel free to check that out in that version if you don't have time for YouTube or watching the video. Check that out, and thank you everyone for joining. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Or day, whenever you're watching.
Have a good night.
Bye.